Well, as you can see here, I've just drawn a basic structure of the hand because it makes it easier to get started. Just if you see that the thumb would be located over here, and then the wrist in this area. Now, if this is the hand that I'm supposed to draw, then this would be the square, the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, and these two fingers, and this is the wrist. So if I place my hand over here, you can see that this is how the structure would look like. So that is how it should be done actually. I mean, you draw the basic structure and then we continue from there. One thing we should always remember is the fingers are always aligned in a curved manner, and it goes down like this. So I have to draw the fingers so that the index finger is always at the top, and then as it inclines downwards in a curved nature, as I've shown over here. And let's get started with the tracing. So if you can observe the knuckles right there in a curved nature, they're not straight like this, and then they have a curve. So it's almost at a 90-degree curve. So what I'm gonna do is, you can observe that that this portion, the fingers, are at a lower position as compared to this area of the hand. So this is in a three-dimensional structure, so we have to do something about it. We cannot just draw them like this because it's not resting on a plane, so it's in a curved nature. So what I'm gonna do over here, if you observe, is this area, which is this joint of the little finger, we're gonna make a cube structure like this, and then I'm just gonna draw another line over here, a straight line, and then I'm gonna draw this curve that I've shown over here in this manner. Oops, this is how it goes, and then I'm gonna draw another one over here. So this area is basically to represent the joints, right? So these areas are to represent the point where the hand ends and the fingers start, and then these fingers are always inclined. Then what I'm gonna do over here is observe this area. You can see that it goes inward, this hand goes inward. So why I'm drawing these lines, as to give a feeling of the final structure that had come out of the hand. And then I would just go over here and then draw another structure so as to help me trace my drawing. So well, I'm using too many lines over here. Try to make it in one line if possible, and then something like this. Well, this is the overall structure. We don't have to do much after this. Then we can straight away, if you observe the little finger is over here, we can just trace it off. I mean, if you want to make it more easier, you can go for lines like this, and then so we have to observe like how much span each one is consuming, what is the area, cross-section area of each finger, because we don't want to make one finger more fat and the one lesser fat, right? So they have to have equal thickness. If you observe, almost they have the similar thickness except for this one, and for that reason the placement of the finger should be proper in the hand area, right? So if you observe, this is a bit smaller, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger like this. And then from here onwards, I'm gonna draw this finger like this. Okay, that should be enough. I mean, it need not be exact because this is not the final output. So I'm going to draw the middle finger now. Let's see if it comes till here, and the knuckle for the middle finger should be about here, and for this finger it should be about here, and for this one over here. And then for this one we're going to draw like this, and then we're going to just drop it. And then if you observe this has a bending like this, so we're just going to draw it like this, and then simply, yeah, that's about it. And then we have the index finger, and then before it we're going to draw something like this, and then this is just to give a basic helping hand for our hand. So that is why I'm drawing these structures, and it makes the drawing much more easier to draw, because otherwise it's very difficult to hold the whole structure in the paper. I faced these problems many a times, because I noticed that I cannot hold the whole structure inside the boundary of the paper. Hence I am going for drawing the base structures first. So we're gonna look into this finger now, and it's okay, it need not be exact. I mean, you just need a basic idea, unless you're asked to make a replica of the drawing. So you can have your own strikes sometimes and not go as it is exactly in the reference. So this is how I'm doing it, and then you can just draw this line from here. Yeah, so we're done with the basic structure, and then let's draw with the thumb. So okay, so we have the basic structure ready. Next we're gonna draw the main hand. So this is the challenging part. We're gonna need some practice, but don't worry, everything will come out fine. So what I'm gonna do is make this area lighter, because I don't want it to reflect on my final sketch. So if I have to say the main drawing, so I'm trying to make it smaller. Let's start off. Okay, so you have to decide like which area you want to start off first, because it has to be a starting point for your drawing. If you don't have a starting point, then you cannot carry on the whole drawing, then it becomes difficult. So for that reason, you should have one starting point, and then from that point onwards you can just spread on to the whole drawing. So what I have decided is to start from the little finger. So we're going to start from here, and then let's just see how it comes out. And after this, I have decided to draw the thumb somewhat, and you gotta notice the areas where so how I'm drawing it is, how to replicate drawings is keep in mind the proportions and the distance of different points in the drawing. So for example, if I'm gonna draw this finger, right, so you have to observe that this point is starting somewhere over here. So that's how I keep measurement of the different things. I'm just gonna try to do it how it's looking in the picture. Well, that's how I do it. When different artists or people who draw, they have different styles of doing it, and this is just what I follow. And this is how I would draw the third or the second finger from the right, and then the knuckle would be somewhere over here, and it would come out like this. So we're gonna have to draw the middle finger, and the middle finger would be structured like this. Okay, another thing to observe is this distance. You don't want to mess up this part, so you need to have the idea where this finger is ending and this one is starting. So for that reason, you have to be a bit careful. So if you observe that this art is not aligning with the line that we had drawn initially, so it's okay. I mean, we can make slight adjustments to our drawing. And here we'd start with the middle finger. Also the thickness, keep in mind the thickness. Try to make it as close as possible to what you see, and then we can draw off. So we're gonna draw this curved nature first. That's what I've chosen because it makes easier for me to continue with the drawing. It's on to you on which point you want to choose so that you want to continue your drawing. So what I'm going to do here is, if you observe that how I do it is, I see like the distance from this point to this point, how much is there and what is the degree of curve that I have. This is almost like some 100 and what, like 40 degrees, 50 degrees, something around that. So I have this eraser which I'm going to use. So if you ask what this is a Tombow mono eraser. This eraser is basically used to sketch hairs where there are lighter areas if you want to make it more detailed, and then we use this eraser to draw the hair. So this is what I'm going to use now to rub the smaller areas. Well, I'll give the links of the different materials in the description. You can check them out if you want to buy the products. And well, we can make slight adjustments later. So first we need to get the basic structure of the hand, and then this finger, if you observe, notice, well, I'm gonna rub it off first so that it's easier. Why I rubbed it off is because I wanted to keep note of, this white section. If you want to make it exact, try to observe the shape of the areas in between. So you just have to develop an idea of how you're going to continue with the drawing. So this is just what I do is I observe the areas where I match the areas, suppose this width, and then where this finger is ending, and then where this one should start. So if you observe from this point up till this point, the finger should be over here, and I've drawn it over here, so that's a mistake. Hence we should rub it off, and then we can continue this like this, and then this portion should end somewhere over here. Did not be 100% exact. You can have your own strikes, like I said, because if you try to make it exactly like the drawing, you won't have your own originality and your own creativity. It would it wouldn't allow you to think independently. Hence I would suggest that don't try to make it exactly like what you see. If you make minor mistakes, that is okay. We are not perfect, so it's okay to make mistakes. We only learn from them. Even I cannot make it exactly like the pictures that I see, but I try my best. So this comes somewhere over here, and this area is very important because this is the joint, and then if you observe the finger, the joint has to be a bit fatter than the rest of the finger. So this area is the joint. So where this part is curving, we are supposed to make that. We're gonna draw it like this, and then just try to match it what we see in the picture. And I suppose the nail comes somewhere over here. Yeah, that should do. And we're gonna obviously make the adjustments later as well. Because it should look like a finger. I mean, it shouldn't look like a fish stick or a French fry, right? So that's the difference between a finger and a French fry, or anything else like a stick. it should resemble what you are drawing. So in some of my drawings, sometimes what happens is it doesn't exactly match like what I'm trying to achieve or what I'm trying to draw. So that's not a good thing, and we should try to overcome that. Alright, so we have done with the fingers. Now it's time for the hand, and this is where also observe when you draw. If one point is over here and another point is very far away from that, you need to keep in mind the span. This span you have to keep in mind, because if you draw, if this point starts somewhere here, right, then this would look very deformed, and it should match the shape of a hand. It should come out as the shape of a hand and not something else. So keep in mind the span. So keep in mind the proportions, because each point is related to another point in any shape. So I'm trying to bring it over here, and then this ends somewhere here, I suppose, and then the finger. So you can observe that this white area, this portion, is in the shape of a U, and to achieve that I should have the thumb somewhere over here, and this is the point, this area, right? So I'm going to draw it like this, and then somewhat in this manner. Alright, so I had chosen to rub off this area because it would create confusion. So we're just gonna go ahead, take a risk, and then try to see what comes out. So if I have rubbed off this area, what else can you depend on? Well, the thickness, right? Like I said, the span. If you observe this point, then this finger should be somewhere over here, right? So that's how I'm doing it, and from here there is a curve in nature like this, and it starts over here. This area it need not be that difficult. You just have to draw a straight line, I guess. Yeah, so this gave us the basic shape of the hand, as you can see, and we're gonna make this part more clearer. Cool. So let's rub off the extra areas, and then I'm just gonna rub this little. Well, another thing that I'll be using over here is this needle, or what is this called? Yeah, this is a eraser, which I'll put the link in the description. It's very handy to rub off smaller areas, and not where this kind of eraser the area is very big, and then this is usually used to rub off the bigger portions of the drawing. So if you observe, I haven't rubbed this portion. Why? Because I'm not yet done with the knuckles. This area is not yet completed, so I need to make this area complete. So these areas, like these bones, which you can see, so these areas, they have to be drawn. And let's draw a basic, very light strike over here somewhat. Yeah, it's not bad. So another one comes over here. Why I'm drawing these is to make sure that it helps us during shading. And if I draw one here, and there we have the third, with all due respect. Then we have this thing, and then we have this one over here. I think it's fine. The rest we can just do it during the shading. So yeah, time to rub off this area as well. Cool. Now I'm just gonna rub it off as well so as to create my thumbnail. So now I'm going to see if I can make any improvements in the drawing. And over here, if you observe, this area needs a bit adjustment. You should just feel it because this area I'm drawing this portion and the joint is over here, so this is where the joint should be, and it should be something like this, and then we have that line over here. This portion I'm trying to make it more like a hand, including the knuckles and everything. So we're gonna have one knuckle over here, and then I'm trying to just see where the shading would be required to make it look more like the knuckle. Another one is gonna come over here and one over here. So that's it, guys. This would be part 1 of the hand shading. So next we're going to look into the second part where I am going to shade this whole portion and make it look like a proper hand. So this is the end of part 1. If you like this video, please make sure you subscribe, like, and press the notification bell. Whenever you are free, you can watch my videos, and whenever I post a new video, you are notified. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in part 2. Take care and good luck.